Have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart? It's so frickin' good. Have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart? If you haven't, then I think you should.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. I'm Jay Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Melas.
Basketball lovers, this is for you.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kerby.
Heyo.
Heyo. And over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Hello to everybody on YouTube.
This camera. God damn.
God.
There we go. There we go.
Hello to the podcast listeners as well. 5-star ratings and reviews for your boys if you haven't done so already. We got some fun games to talk about once again. The playoffs are on one right now. I guess first question, will a home team ever win another playoff game? Discuss. No, we'll also get into some news. Got Coach of the Year, Executive of the Year, and all that stuff. But yeah, the Pacers scored the final 8 points in about 48 seconds to stun the shorthanded Cavaliers. 120-119 last night. They take the 2-0 lead in their Eastern Conference second round series. It was a real what the hell just happened. Once again with the Pacers. We saw it in the Bucks series, and they do it again here in Game 2 task, somehow like just snatching this from the Cavs to take the 2-0 lead.
The Pacers snatch it, but the Cavs blew this one.
Yes,
Very true.
Yes, indeed.
27 seconds left. They just had to inbound the ball under their own hoop. And they did. But Kenny Atkinson said, "No, I need a timeout." He was so desperate to get Donovan Mitchell back into the game. And so their last timeout is gone. And Cavs have to go the other way, inbound on the other side. They flub that one. And then Tyrese Haliburton is able to go to the hoop. Cavs could have challenged. It's unlikely they would have been able to get a turnover with that one, but because they don't have a timeout, they couldn't. They also could have used that timeout after Haliburton's big shot, so they could advance the ball and have a far better shot at the rim. So they really did flub this one. Obviously, Tyrese Haliburton's shot is the story. That was freaking amazing. How he took his sweet time. It's like he took a deep breath to take every one of those seconds and be able to hit that shot. But the Cavs wasted Donovan Mitchell's 48-point performance without their other two All-Stars and DeAndre Hunter. They needed another ball handler, and Ty Jerome having his worst game did not help. And that's why Kenny Atkinson was so desperate to get Donovan Mitchell back into the game. That being said, the Cavs are going to remember this one if they don't beat the Indiana Pacers. Should have won this thing.
Yeah, they're down 2-0, going on the road. Not good,
No.
but you're right. There's like 3 plays where if the Cavs make one of them, they win this game. Get the ball in the first time with Strus. I mean, he wanted Mitchell in, but that was getting close to a 5-second call.
Yeah.
Would have been the second. I think that's the second time they had to call a timeout because they couldn't get the ball in bounds. Then just a brutal pass by Strus on the steal by Nesmith, and Jared Allen grab a rebound, I think is really what it comes down to. But the poise by Haliburton to stand in the lane and realize, I don't have to shoot it right away. There's 10 seconds left. Enough time to back out, get into my dribble package, get a shot up. There was a 70-minute YouTube mix of clutch moments for Tyrese Haliburton on the NBA's YouTube page right now. It's his 5th season. This season alone, he's 10 for 11 on shots to tie or take the lead in the last 2 minutes of the game.
Say it again.
10 for 11 in the last 2 minutes to take the lead or tie the game.
Yeah. I saw that compilation
He
going
is
around.
straight up money. Awesome stuff from him. 11 points in the fourth quarter, 5 rebounds, including that one. He rebounded his own miss, 1 assist, 1 block, which was a nice play as well. But the Pacers aren't able to pull this off. A second down by 7 with less than a minute comeback, if not for Aaron Nesmith and Andrew Nembhard. These guys locked in the fourth quarter. Nesmith was like right at the line of, is this too physical? He was all over
How
Donovan
many times
Mitchell.
did he collide with Donovan Mitchell in this game?
He hit him from the top of the head to the feet.
Yeah.
There was one where it was almost Mitchell was surfing on the back of Nesmith, but they made so many winning plays, kind of starting with the corner 3-pointer from Nesmith right at the end of the third quarter. He also had a putback with 6:20 left. Nembhard had an and one, 4.5 minutes left. Of course, Nesmith had that huge tip dunk and one. Donovan Mitchell fell asleep a little bit, 48 seconds left. Then Nesmith takes a charge to the face from Mitchell, 46 seconds left. Nembhard with the steal, 28 seconds left. These guys just make play after play after play. Didn't shoot the ball well. Nembhard didn't, but came through when it mattered. Neesmith just made so many big plays. Mathurin was good. Miles Turner, he ain't a big rebounder, but he got a little fingertip on it to knock it out to Haliburton. They got enough plays from enough guys to pull it out at the end. You do not want to be up on the Pacers in the last minute of a game.
It's true. You'd rather be behind, I guess. Jared Allen said it best after the game. The Pacers capitalized on every single mistake that we made, and you guys have basically gone through all of them. I'm sure there's one or two more sort of down the stretch of this game that we could like lay the blame pie to at the Cavs players or coaching staff, but the Pacers just always capitalize, and it usually is just like an effort thing. I mean, you said it. The Cavs couldn't even get the ball in because they just started like full court pressuring them, and they were panicking. Now, a big part of that, if you have Garland, I think it's a little different. You got a quick point guard to like obviously get open and maybe break a little press.
And Aaron Neesmith on Sam Merrill's back also helps out.
Yeah,
I mean, he did a very good job of getting extremely physical. And that's what the Cavs are definitely upset about, especially after game one when Evan Mobley and DeAndre Hunter get hurt. And they say, you're too physical. And yes, it's probably going up against the line. I did find that the question of whether or not Donovan Mitchell was flagrant and when he hit Aaron Neesmith in the face, questionable, because, he's up in his shirt. He can't turn up the court. But that's what you should do. I think they got that
one right after looking at it.
It wasn't flagrant.
It's worth a flagrant, but offensive foul, which was huge, of course.
Yeah, it's just tough to move when Aaron Neesmith is on you. So he is pushing it. He's asking the referees, call me. He's doing that. And so, yes, they pushed it right there. Again, if the Cavs have one of their all-stars, we're talking about a different game. They win this thing. And if Ty Jerome doesn't have his worst game, entering the starting lineup, going 1 of 14, he just wasn't right. They needed a ball handler. They're so desperate. They kept on giving it to Max Strus to bring it up the floor. They were just looking for somebody to bring it up the floor. If they didn't trade DeAndre Hunter for two guys, then they have more depth with Niang there and Karis LeVert there. So there's a lot of things on both sides. No doubt.
A back-breaking loss for so many reasons because you had that lead late. You had 2 20-point leads at different times of this game. But then, you said it. Donovan Mitchell had 48 points. Like, he did try and carry this team across the finish line to tie the series. 30 shot attempts once again, 15 of 30. That's pretty damn good. And living at the free throw line. 17 of 21. I guess he was ultimately there. A little bit of everything else. Like Trey, he just attacked and attacked and attacked and attacked. A lot of these were deserving of foul calls. He was just barreling into guys, but at least putting pressure on them. And then in the end, did he just run out of gas? Hence, like, getting them in and out and all this, like, get him a quick blow. But then you look at total minutes, it, like, doesn't blow you away with how many minutes he played in this game, but he just had to, like, his usage percentage was something like 48% in this game.
He did everything.
Yeah.
The Dwayne Wade was dripping off Donovan Mitchell last night. You could tell starting in the first quarter, he took 10 shots, took a 3 on the Cavs' second possession of the game. All of his other looks in the first quarter were from within 7 feet. Also took 5 free throws, kind of setting the tone. I'm going to the rim. Try and stop me. The jumper has not been there for Donovan Mitchell in this series. He kind of got cold at the end of the regular season, coming back from injury as well. But he said, I'm just going to try and win this game for us. And he won it for him the first 47 minutes. It just honestly felt like we are not losing this game, get on my back kind of game from Donovan Mitchell. He had an awesome dunk in the first quarter, and then he had a better dunk in the first quarter. That was really cool to see. But when it came down to it, he was carrying such a huge load, coupled with the fact that the Cavs are playing 2 guys that the Pacers were not worried about, in Dean Wade and Isaac Okoro. Ty Jerome, you're giving this guy a little bit too much credit here. That he was a leading 6th man of the year candidate. He's supposed to be good. 8 for 20, bad game in game 1. You would die for 8 for 20 after last night's 1 for 14. There were teams thinking about Ty Jerome as a starting point guard. People are saying, Orlando Magic, go after this guy. If you watch these 2 games, you want to spend a lot of money on a guy who scored 23 points on 34 shots? I don't think so.
All I kept thinking about was Sonic the Hedgehog when he runs into something and the coins go splashing everywhere. I was like, ooh, that's a little Ty Jerome right now.
Yeah,
money going splashing everywhere.
He had no clue what was going on.
From these games.
He had no clue. Every shot looked awkward, and he should have been able to handle the ball in the fourth quarter. He wasn't, and he completely looked scared. Yeah. And honestly, that last rebound by Jared Allen, that flashed me back to the Knicks series when he said the lights were too bright. He got exposed that series, and something similar happened on that last play. But Mitchell was awesome. It looked like he was going to drag this team to a win, missing 3 of their top 7. And then they couldn't get the ball past half court for the last minute of the game.
When Max Strus threw down that transition dunk, he like took off from like outside the paint, that put the lead back to 20 in the third quarter. I thought, okay, this is a wrap. Wow, Mitchell has done it, along with Sam Merrill splashing some threes early, offense going through Jared Allen a little bit early, Pacers sloppy as hell in the first quarter. But this team, like they just like slowly claw back. Tass, I'm talking about the Pacers. We've seen it time and time again. Now it's not like in an instant. You know, it's not a Cavalanche or it's not a Curry flurry. They do it in a different way. Where it's like we got enough time still. Mm-hmm. We obviously got Haliburton, and we're gonna see the big ball dance and his celebration. But like they just like claw and claw and claw till suddenly it's a one possession game.
Yeah, it looked like it was done. It's about the Cavs and the Cavs knots. And Max Stress was causing the stress in this one to Indiana. And it looked like it was over, especially with Tyrese and his hand causing a burden. But then the stress was caused the other direction. I mean, Max Strus was freaking awesome. He was really, really good for Cleveland. They were just so desperate for somebody to handle the ball. And yes, Ty Jerome in his first start, super big game.
I think he started game one, didn't he?
He started game one, but in a game where he needed to be something. Something more, just handling the ball because they didn't have anybody. They tried Isaac Okoro. They tried Greg
There was
Porter.
too much Okoro.
And they tried Javonte Green out there, who was just standing in the corners for 10 minutes. But they had nobody to handle the ball. They really did not. Strus was awesome, and I thought he was playing out of his head. I mean, this was Miami Heat Finals Max Strus. Like, he was really, really, really good. But they just needed somebody. And Donovan Mitchell has shown in these big games, he comes out and he performs. He puts the team on his back. And he tried last year against Boston Celtics in round 2, but couldn't get there in round 2 because they didn't have the same team. So this is the one where it's going to be painful if Garland and Mobley don't come back and they get some freaking wins. 4 out of 5 wins against this Pacers team now looks
very,
dire.
very daunting. Yeah, whether Garland, Mobley, Hunter are playing or not. It's like, obviously, they've got all the confidence in the world now. And again, they just like, we can get back into games, and we believe, the best closer, at least this season right now, in Tyrese Haliburton. This guy continues to make kick shots. And this other thing, I kept thinking in this game, and we've seen it a couple times now here in the playoffs, and even in regular season games that we've talked about, these teams get like this lead, call it 5 to 9 points, right? And time is getting down in a couple of minutes. And they get the defense with the lead, get so caught up in takeaway threes, that they just give up layups. They just give up layups. How many times did it happen in this game? It's happened in so many games where it's like, I get it. You don't want to give up the 3 instead of the 2, but you are just giving up a quick 2. And these are NBA pro players that are going to go like 99.9% at the rim. So it's like a weird, I don't know what the answer is to it, but like maybe try and take it away a little bit. I something about that. Like you just see it so many times now.
I mean, I think the answer is make your free throws and pass the ball to your own team.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
You get it. Obviously possession matters, and they were giving it away.
Yes.
But
don't call timeouts.
I hate these layup lines that these teams just start giving up when they do get a little bit like, well, we're up 7. Okay, we should be good here. And that's backfired a couple times now.
It has. Yeah, the Pacers are relentless. There is no doubt. The Cavs just can't get their guys on the floor. We'll see if they get them on the floor in Game 3 because they're going to be confident. Despite Donovan Mitchell maybe not being physically right. I mean, he was banged up. I mean, he was limping around out there.
Yeah, they say he's got a calf strain, right? And he just carried the team for 47 minutes.
Yeah. And
he was also even trying to be polite at one point in the game. What did you think of Mitchell trying to quiet the Cavaliers crowd with their overrated chants with Haliburton at the line? He was legit like, no. I guess he believes he is not overrated, and he's ended up being right.
There's a lot of integrity from the Cleveland Cavaliers because also Jared Allen blocked a shot. The ball went out on the back of like his heel, bounced off his heel. You could see him look over to the bench. He's like, no, don't challenge. That one was off my heel. They were asking, should we? No.
Don't do
They're
it.
going to tell the truth no matter what.
Don't do it. So
I'd like to hear the truth about Darius Garland's foot.
sure. This
They
toe.
need him. You got to play through pain now. They say it's all a pain tolerance thing. He hasn't played in how long? I mean, when was the last time he played Game 2 of the Miami Heat series? That was a month ago? Mm-hmm. You better play in Game 3 is what I'm saying.
Yeah, last year they went through a pain tolerance thing with Jared Allen as well. Obviously, he did not play. So hopefully, Garland comes back because It feels like this Pacers team, they can be down 10, down 12, doesn't matter, because Tyrese Haliburton was having a quiet game until the fourth, and especially until late in the fourth. I mean, he had 5 makes in the last 3+ minutes of the game. For the last 3 minutes and 3 seconds, he had 5 makes. Before that, he had 6. So it was quiet until bang, he just ripped it off.
But that's the best part about this team, the Pacers. It's like they get down big. It doesn't need to be like Haliburton save us. It's like not that, because in this one it's like Nesmith threes. Mathurin took over the game at one point to just keep Indiana in it. That was it. He had a stretch where he was like attacking, scoring inside, getting to the free throw line a little bit, and it just kept them alive. Turner did have a really good start to the game as well, and it's just like everybody contributing to like hand it off to your closer, throw it over to who's the greatest baseball closer in history? Who would you say? Eck? Is it
Mariano
Eckersley?
Rivera?
No.
Yeah, okay, sure. I was going to go Tom Hankey, so that's why I asked. Baseball reference, Blue Jays reference. But they just handed over to Haliburton at the end. It's like, hey, we got you here, man. Now close the door. And he's done it so many times now that he is, Trey. You called it last week or whatever it was. Like, the guy's Reggie Miller 2.0 now.
Big time.
He is, because he just keeps coming through. Instead, I just wish he sort of did the choke job last night.
That was a choke.
It was a choke from the
Would've been
Cavs.
a good time for
Instead,
it.
he went with the Sam Cassell big balls dance, which he said he was thinking about. He was waiting to pull it out. It felt like the right moment.
That sucks if you're a Cavs fan.
Yeah.
He probably started thinking about it when he pulled the ball out and saw Ty Jerome in front of him.
It's like,
and Ty Jerome
let's
was
dance.
like, if they were dangling for Tyrese Haliburton, I think they were going up and in for Ty Jerome on that play. He was,
Yeah, what a play, and everything to happen to get us to that point. Amazing games, and like but at that point it was the 3rd straight consecutive like insane playoff. Like we are just on one here, and road teams generally coming through. Is that's 6 straight road wins? I know we'll get to the Warriors beating the Wolves, because you got to go back to the Warriors beat the Rockets, and what was the one before that?
No, the Clippers not good.
No, there was one more in there. But anyway, we're at 6 straight. What a run here for the road teams. Anything else from this game?
My friends and I were calling Max Strus the Winter Soldier for most of this game. He definitely has a Sebastian Stan, Bucky Barnes look. He's got an arm sleeve as well. If it was metal, it would really sell it. I also thought the sound mix on this game was absolutely brutal.
Yeah, what's
it was
going on?
tough to listen to. It sounded like Spiro and Gregg were zooming in, and for whatever reason, the shoe squeaking was echoing the entire night. I changed channels.
Yep.
I switched over to an NHL game to be like, is this my TV doing it? Then when I rewatched this morning, still squeaking. So I don't know what's going on in Cleveland. Maybe where the mics are compared to how loud they're playing, the in-arena noises. It was sounding crazy. Every shoe squeak was beep, 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 beep. I didn't like that at all.
Was it more annoying to listen to that game or a No Dunks podcast after a long weekend in Montreal? Just asking.
We were getting great reviews yesterday. People were saying you guys sound great. I actually think I sound better today. I would like to stay right here.
Right here?
This is the perfect voice for
little
me. Like
gravitas.
95. Exactly. I get a little tass in my voice. But when I'm fully healthy, you know how it is, baby.
You and me go squeak mode. He's the
like
only base.
Yeah, it's like a soup, you know? First day it's fine, but then the second day, that's when it kicks
Flavors.
in at a perfect
yeah.
level. I would say the thing that did sound good on the mix was Bone Thugs.
That was
and
nice.
Biggie, yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice. Bone Thugs
Going
Cleveland.
to commercial break early on that one.
That was a good one.
That's when the Cavs were feeling good. Up 32-15. I like that Rick Carlisle talking to Jared Greenberg in between, obviously, the first and second quarter when they're down big. Carlisle said, quote, "This is the power of hard play." Sounds like cool lyrics. This is the power of hard play. Pointing out how great the Cavs were and how sloppy Indiana was. Because Nembhard was fumbling the ball out of bounds. Siakam had one under his rim. We didn't even mention his name. I know he had some timely buckets, Siakam, but quiet game.
Not
from
a
him.
huge game.
Yeah. They had a couple traveling violations early in this game. It was Nembhard. It was McConnell. Miles Turner tried to throw a lob pass that even Obi Toppin couldn't go get. Like, it was way too high. Toppin couldn't throw a post pass. Like, it was bad first quarter from Indiana. That's why they were down huge. But they got it going.
I mean, it was a bad first 3 quarters for Indiana. They weren't playing their game at all. It was a complete flip from their first series against the Bucks and a complete flip from game 1 where they just had so much freedom. I thought Strus, and credit to Okoro, I call him Isaac No Scoro because it goes both ways. He can't score, but neither is the guy he's guarding. They were picking Haliburton up full court, which was really hampering the Pacers getting into their actions. They're a team that gets shots up like in the first 10 seconds almost all the time. It was just a lot tougher for them to get into their beautiful game with cuts and all this kind of stuff. They definitely got unlocked, I thought, in the third quarter. A big part of that was Mathurin. Like, Mathurin's cutting, I thought, was huge in this game. But, good adjustment, I thought, from Kenny Atkinson to have, like, Strus all over Haliburton from the jump. I mean, I guess he got a basket really easy on the off the tip. But Strus was all over him. Okoro was all over him. So that's something the Pacers are going to have to deal with in Game 3.
Yeah, Cleveland was beating them to their spots every single time. So the movement just wasn't there. And it was a nice little change up. Ty Jerome did go into the starting lineup for Sam Merrill because Sam Merrill was, he wasn't the guy that they needed, but Ty Jerome obviously didn't help him out enough either.
Not.
No.
All right. Have any other notes? Random notes? Nothing else? I mean, you already mentioned Neesmith jumping over Mitchell there at one point.
What? That was weird.
You don't see that very often in an NBA game. And my only other note, because it gives me the shivers, there's a quick shot of Donovan Mitchell chewing on a towel early in the game. Now, I don't think he's a guy that chews on a towel, but he put it in his mouth. Gives me the creepy heebie-jeebies right now. Because he was putting on his warm-up. So I think he wanted to keep it there around his neck. So he put it in his mouth. But there's nothing that makes my skin crawl more than that. I've said this before. I just can't stand it.
That is a weird thing that
I
you have
hate it,
said
dude.
before.
I hate it. Jerry Tarkanian was my least favorite coach.
I hate that guy.
Yeah, I hate him. Even though he was Armenian. All right, well, let's move on to the other game from last night. Not as sexy, but the Warriors take game 1 from the Wolves, 99-88. Despite Steph Curry's hamstring injury. This one started hilariously. I guess it started hilariously and ended hilariously if you count the post-game press conference, because Buddy Hield starts the game wearing the wrong shorts. In his defense, they look pretty damn similar to the correct shorts. I guess he had on the black and blue pair of shorts instead of the black and yellow sort of pinstripe pair of shorts, or like striped at the bottom.
Yeah, this game started on NBA TV, right? Because it was the overlap with the Pacers game. So they told us about it before they showed us. And I was expecting way weirder shorts from Buddy Hield, to be honest. I was like, okay, these are pretty similar.
Yeah, this is like a who cares? Like, but obviously the Timberwolves bench, they notice it. Buddy's laughing. He's got to run back. They got to use delay a game. I guess I had to use a timeout because of all that. But
conspiracy theory, as Brian Anderson said on the broadcast, are they saying he's got the wrong shorts just so we can watch the Indiana Pacers ending, which was spectacular? Just a quick conspiracy theory. Yeah, I didn't notice the shorts at all. I mean, nobody would have noticed, really.
No. So that started the game, and then after the game, it was the Buddy Hield and Jimmy Butler comedy hour in their post-game press conference. These guys were hilarious.
They're a perfect match.
Yeah, give them a podcast right now. But a lot happened in the game, Tass, and I mean, Steph Curry limping off the court in the second quarter with a hamstring injury that we're going to wait on MRI results for. He's not going to play in the next game. We don't know when he'll probably return.
Not after you win game 1. Probably not.
Probably not. Because he's suddenly pulling back at it. He tries to sort of power through it. He even makes a shot and comes back. Still holding at it. Suddenly they had to sub him out, and he never returned.
Yeah, the wild part is Steph leaves, and the Wolves can't take advantage because they held the Warriors to 18 points in the first quarter. But they were not big because they only scored 20, and then it got worse in the second quarter, scoring only 11 points. Just weird seeing Anthony Edwards miss gimmies. I mean, he missed his first 10 shots, but 6 were at the frickin' rim. You can add another one in because when he got fouled at the end of the second quarter, he flubbed a bunny that he missed, which doesn't go in the field goals. But as he went to the line, he hit one free throw. The entire arena erupted because he scored a point. This is Anthony Edwards. This is so strange. Now, he had a way better second half, but this was his worst playoff performance.
Yes.
That he went so quiet. Why did it happen? Did it happen because he was anointed as the next guy these few days in between these series? He was anointed this incredible player. He beat LeBron. He's beat them all. Or was it that the Wolves, for the first time in his career, were clearly the favorite in this series? Because that hasn't happened. Now, last year against the Phoenix Suns in the first series, they were technically the favorite, but they weren't this. And Anthony Edwards was not this. He just did not look right. Now, he was rebounding. He was defending. But it was just so odd. It was so odd. And he didn't demand the ball at the end of the first half where, it's your time, man. So that part was weird, where you see Steph go off and The team can score. I mean,
No,
who was
88 points.
great on their team? It was Naz Reid had a good game. But you can see some box scores, but these guys were just so quiet. Everybody ice cold from 3-point line.
Wolves coach Chris Finch, he called out Ant after the game for his lack of energy. He said, quote, "You're the leader of the team and you got to come out and set the tone. If your shot's not going, you still have to carry the energy. If I have to talk to guys about having the right energy coming into an opening second round game, then we're not on the same page," end quote. But specifically calling out Ant on that one, like, hey man, I don't care if you can't hit a three or you're not scoring inside right now. You got to still bring that energy, and we follow you as the leader. He didn't think he did that in game one.
100%. It was worthy of Chris Finch calling him out. It was Cam Edwards in the first half. I think part of it is the Warriors are a lot better defensively than the Lakers are. Their schemes were more interesting. They went with a zone. It looked like they saw what Houston was doing against the Warriors. They're like, hey, we should try that. And it completely threw the Timberwolves off. Edwards also rolled his ankle 6 minutes into the first quarter. He didn't miss literally a single play because of it, but you could tell it was a little bit tender. I thought he was trying to adjust to the reads. We talked about how great his playmaking was in round one against the Lakers. What'd you say, 35 assists to 6 turnovers? He had 2 assists to 3 turnovers last night. The automatic reads are not there. But then in the second half, he started going to the rim all the time. 22 points, 9 of 14 field goals, didn't have an assist. This is going to be a series where Anthony Edwards needs to be a scorer. I thought he was looking to pass maybe a little bit too much in the first half, which is how they played in the first series against the Lakers. But what it comes down to is that 3-point shooting is the whole game here. Minnesota went 5 for 29. Buddy Hield himself went 5 for 8. Draymond Green went 4 of 6 in the first half and missed all 4 of his attempts in the second half. But still, if you're getting 9 threes from Buddy and Draymond and you make 5 right there, you're not going to win. It's that simple. You have to make shots. And I think if you are a Timberwolves fan, you got to be a little bit encouraged going forward. Curry is out. That's going to be helpful.
At least for a game, yeah.
At least for a game. Jeff Stotts in Street Clothes said the minimum time that guys miss with a grade 1 strain, so like the mildest strain, is 10 days.
Yeah.
So we'll see when Curry comes back.
And right now the schedule is basically every second night, right? Until maybe 5 or 6 or something like that?
Game 6,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, but the Warriors made, they were 16 for 45 from 2-point range. They couldn't score inside. The Warriors couldn't, and now they're going to be missing Curry, so they'll have even less space. This was an awesome game for Jimmy Butler. He literally went out and beat the Timberwolves starters with the Warriors bench. Come on.
I know.
That was awesome. Like, he didn't have the biggest stats, but he filled up the box score. His playmaking was big. Found Buddy Hield for a corner 3. Found Gary Payton for a corner 3 as well. The Warriors role players played a lot better than the Timberwolves role players.
Yeah, strength in numbers for the Warriors back in those old days. Kerr played 12 players. He actually tried to play 13 because Braxton Key did check in for a brief moment, but it was during that sort of like confusion about like who was taking the foul shot and who was subbing in and out. So Braxton Key came right back off, never logged a single second of game 1, but he was trying to play 13 guys. But yeah, Pat Spencer was awesome. Him and his mustache rocking. 2 steals, 2 shots he hit. Set a really nice screen that even opened up Buddy Hield for a corner 3. Kuminga, we saw some decent moments here from Kuminga in this game, at least his best moments from this playoffs. And just like Looney and all these guys were contributing. Tass, it's like it's almost like Kerr. I think you never want to see Curry go down ever. Of course, he's a superstar. He's one of the greatest of all time. But I think a sicko like Steve Kerr does like hey guys, can we do this? Can we get crazy here? Everybody want to play? Yeah, let's do it. And everybody played their part. And just the defense, helped out by the Wolves not being able to hit a 3. They missed their first 16 3-pointers?
That's right.
They didn't hit a 3 until the third quarter, I think.
That's
like
right,
8
yeah.
minutes to go. So that helped. But can
that
they do
helped.
it 3 more times, I guess, here with Curry or not?
Yeah, the scary part was the Warriors walk into their building and just stole their energy immediately. They couldn't do it. You have to be able to beat the role players on the other team. You just have to be able to do that. You're supposed to be the deeper team. Now, Steve Kerr is part of the Gregg Popovich tree. He will always play all of his guys throughout the regular season for this moment, to be ready for these. And it was great seeing Pat Spencer hook a ball off the glass. For all the guys that got no stop and pop game, respect to Pat Spencer. I mean, where did that come from? I thought the moment that really sealed it for me was a 13-point deficit in the third quarter, and Jimmy Butler chucked a prayer from 3-point land.
Thought he was getting fouled, yeah.
Yeah, and it goes glassing in, and that's it. Prayer answered, and the Wolves could pray all they want, but they just weren't doing enough. I know it's stupid to say that, but they didn't have the energy. I mean, it really sucked the energy out of that arena. And the threes obviously clanging all night long. It was so bad.
That is back-to-back games for the Wolves now where they could not hit a three
to
save their life. Now, they won Game 5 against the Lakers. What did they go? 7 for 47? What was it?
I think you're right.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Brutal, and this one was somehow even worse and didn't take as many as well, but only hitting 5 of 29 from deep. And Finch also pointed out, like, our transition decisions he used the word diabolical.
Couldn't believe it.
I mean, so just like we're playing like it's a regular season game, I think is what he was getting at here. Like, especially even when Curry goes out, we're going to make our run, but we just had that air of us. Like, it'll happen. We can keep trying to fire away from three. But obviously you're in the playoffs here against, a team with like legends on it here, and it's not going to be ever easy. So I like him calling out his team here, and I would expect obviously a bounce back performance in game 2.
Yeah, you would have to hope that you're getting the Edwards that we saw in the second half. I think Julius Randle and Jaden McDaniels need to be better. They scored 30 combined points on 23 shots, so not bad, but a lot of that is Randle going to the line a bunch. He went 10 of 10 at the line. I just thought this was the Randle you don't like to see. He was playing a lot of one-on-one basketball, very stagnant and very jab-steppy. He's at his best when it's quick attacks, which is what we saw all Lakers series. McDaniels, for his part, it just felt like every basket of his was random. Not attacking the way he usually does on closeouts or wide open shots. He was really having to work for it. So both of those guys, I think, can be better. And they need to be, because when the Warriors were playing zone, they did not care at all about McDaniels or Randle. They're saying, we're putting everybody on the side of Anthony Edwards. Try and figure out. He wasn't able to figure it out. So going to the zone was good. I assume the Timberwolves will be more ready for it in game 2, but that means Randall's got to shoot, McDaniel's got to shoot. Maybe they pull Gobert when they're in zone mode and get Naz Reid out there for some more stretchiness as well. But there are definitely places where the Timberwolves can improve, and I think the Warriors can be a lot better as well. Draymond was awesome defensively. He was everywhere last night.
Because he gets to do what he wants, which is like, I get to stay in the back here and go all over the place and tell people where to go, and like I get to run the defense, like that, which is like, that's why that zone was so impressive. If they continue to go zone, then it's obviously tough to get Draymond into action. If they're not in zone, I think you put Draymond into action. Get him up to like be the defender in a pick and roll, because he's really good at that too, don't get me wrong, but like he is elite. He maybe is one of the best ever. Just be in that back line, right at the rim, helping out. Like those takes, some of them he should have hit. Like he will probably. And he did even as the game went on. But a lot of them were Draymond. Like he's there, he's coming, he's making it difficult. He's in his head a little bit. He's just so good at it. So, but I think Kerr will just continue to stick with obviously a decent amount of zone until the Wolves can prove they can hit threes. Because they can't right now.
Yeah, but when they can't hit threes, like in Game 5 against the Lakers, they got great performances out of their bigs. They do have the size. They should get better performances out of a Julius Randle, who had 23 in that game, and he was just more adamant. I mean, the foul trouble, there was some early foul trouble in this game that maybe got into his head a little bit, because I didn't think he was incredible defensively. And Rudy Gobert, who had 27 in that game, they've got to be able to do it. So, yeah, Draymond is incredible at helping and altering shots. But then you got a better matchup if Jimmy's taking Julius Randle. I mean, he should be bodying guys. But he was not. They got to use the bodies. They got to use the height.
Got to use those bodies.
And they weren't there. They weren't there.
Do you agree with Trey's like assessment, though, that like the Wolves are like, okay, that was bad. We only scored 88 points, and they didn't even have Curry for half the game, who, by the way, was looking pretty good. Like, you could see, like, wow, Curry's like, wow, this is a lot easier to score on than the Rockets were.
There's not somebody hugging me all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I sort of like this. But do you think the Wolves are at least going, okay, we can still obviously compete in this series, and if not, win this series?
Yeah,
yeah,
I think so. I mean, it is just one game. I think they are confident enough in their team getting to the conference finals. There's just they know who they are. Yeah. So I was not expecting it. I know all the broadcasters and everybody saying, oh, it's rest versus rust. These teams that took care of business have 5 days off. It's hard to buy that. But, I mean, there's no reason. I bring that up because there is no reason to see them clanking and not have the energy and not have throwing frickin' alley-oops. I mean, Rudy Gobert is by far the giant in this series. I think he's 5 to 6 inches taller than the next guy on the floor most of the time. No disrespect to Quentin Post's height of 7 feet. I think he is 7 feet. But I mean, he should be able to throw dunks. Like Mike Conley, he threw him one with the right hand. And I'm still puzzled as to whether or not that was a shot or an assist attempt. I mean, that was a weird one. Gobert should be able to hammer, and so should Randall. And Naz Reid came off the bench and was good. But that was the only guy who really showed energy, I thought.
Yeah, and we sort of glossed over it, but Draymond Green hitting 4 threes in the first half. I think he scored on Gobert right away to sort of start this game. A little wild little hook shot, a little push shot inside. I mean, he was just awesome. Forget defensively. He's giving you 18 points, and a lot of those threes in the first half, they needed them. And then Jimmy sort of flirting with the triple-double, and then everybody playing a part. It was really, really impressive. So I do have the stat here. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday became the first 3-day stretch in NBA playoff history where visiting teams combined to go at least 6-0. So it started with Sunday's Indiana's Game 1 win in Cleveland, then Golden State's Game 7 road win in Houston. That concluded the first round, and then we've got wins by New York and Denver on Monday, and then last night, Tuesday night, Indiana and Golden State winning on the road. Home court advantage. No more.
20-point leads. They don't matter.
No, they don't matter.
Things have changed
It's crazy.
in the NBA.
Any other notes from Wolves-Warriors Game 1?
Yeah, I was just checking to see if the Wolves maybe lost a Game 1 last year and still made the conference finals. Nah, that didn't happen. They always win Game 1, so we'll see if this changes here.
So it's over.
Maybe.
You're calling it?
No, Steph. That helps. There, you got to be better. I will say, Brandon Pajemski, his interview after the first quarter, showing that he's going to have his own pod. The pod, Brandon pod, whatever you call it. I mean, he's just a really eloquent guy. He always has been. He just spits stuff off. He's always been super, super comfortable on the mic. He was great. We'll see when that happens. Probably next season, I guess. Maybe Draymond Green starts his own
He's got a lot of
platform.
podcast network. He's got his show. He's got the Jimmy and Buddy show.
Yeah,
he's got Pod's Pod.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Steph will do one. Didn't Steph?
Did he have one with his
one?
wife?
Yeah, I think so. That's
He does like a million shows with his
show
wife.
for sure.
Again, we sort of glossed over him. But Buddy Hield, we said he was like a huge X factor in this series because we saw what he did in the last series. When he played well, they won. When he didn't, they lost. 24 points, 8 boards. I mean, he was pretty damn good. And he couldn't hit a shot in the first half. So a tale of two halves for Buddy. I guess what were his things again? He was Buddy Fresh.
Buddy Love, Buddy Buckets.
Buddy Love and Buddy Buckets. But do you hear what Jimmy Butler calls him? Butter. I guess Budder. And Buddy was like, stop calling me Butter. And then he's like, but that's what Buddy is short for.
That's what
So I want to see Butter added to the Basketball Reference page for Buddy Hield. They were very funny, those two.
They were very funny. Like I saw probably 4 separate clips, all from the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's a great mix. It's like one guy who's the angry, mean guy, and one guy who it all rolls off his back no matter what you say to him. That's a great mix.
Yeah. During that press conference, Jimmy just keeps grabbing Buddy's arm. He keeps flexing on his arm.
Why?
I don't know why. I have no idea why, but he just keeps going like this. You can see it like a million times.
I had I had a buddy. I had a friend in high school who wore the wrong shorts for a game once, Brad Cornelius. Mm-hmm. But we didn't have a backup pair of shorts, so he just played with mismatched top and bottom shorts. It was pretty sweet looking.
Right, but I assume these shorts were drastically different, color
I mean, there was this. Okay, so we were purple and white were our school colors. One was purple and white, one was white and purple. So he had either he had the purple and white top with the white and purple shorts, so it kind of matched, but it just looked like two-tone though, like the Washington Wizards back in the day.
Well, Buddy did say, I think jokingly, that Jimmy is to blame for the shorts miscue. He said he swapped them.
Sounds like something Jimmy would do.
I know. Jimmy would say, I didn't do anything, but I guess their lockers are side by side, so could he have done it? Could he have gotten somebody, equipment manager, to do it? Yeah, I guess so. But anyway, keep at it. Keep with the hijinks because they're rolling right now. Buddy Hield's on fire, at least in the second
rolling.
half.
I mean, the guy hadn't made the playoffs until last year, his 8th year of his career. And the Sixers didn't really use him all that much. They tossed him in the last game because they were desperate. Yeah. He did have a good game. I mean, he played in 4 games. The last one was his only good one, but this is his best run, clearly. The Golden State Warriors trickle-down effect is a little bonkers. I did not expect it, but it is clear it's what's happening.
All right, let's get to some NBA news from the past couple days. On Monday, Gregg Popovich officially passed the Spurs coaching baton. to Mitch Johnson. Most of you know Pop suffered a mild stroke in November. He stepped away from the team for most of the season. Johnson, then an assistant, took over. Spurs had a decent year. Obviously lost Wembanyama sort of halfway through, but 34 and 48 and missed the postseason. But Mitch Johnson is going to be the official next head coach, and it was great to see Pop. And obviously some funny moments even in the press conference there with the shirt and with the Hall of Famers beside him. But again, it was legit like a passing of the baton to this guy, Trey.
Oh, big time it was. There were a lot of memes going around of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with Master Splinter, then flipping it to the aged Master Splinter with the grown turtles. That was Gregg Popovich walking off with Tim Duncan to his side. I thought that was a hilarious moment where he's like, I know you guys are just here to make me do hard stuff in rehab.
Yeah.
Great stuff. He seemed like he was in good spirits, but it was basically like, I just can't coach anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to be around, which is good, which is just good. But man, what an end of the era of the Gregg Popovich time. I was in 8th grade when he started coaching the Spurs.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I went and looked. December 10th, 1996 was his first game as the coach for the San Antonio Spurs. Almost didn't finish out the season. Was like how disliked he was, but like, just wait. We're going to be the most successful team of the 2000s. They ended up tanking. Things worked out for him. So I was just trying to think, what was I doing December 10th, 1996? And I think I was excited for Mars Attacks to come out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
well, you must have been
13th.
getting ready for Christmas, too.
Yeah, I guess so. Probably making a list, checking it twice. That's not my job. That's the big man, SE.
Yeah, I guess what's interesting is the Spurs didn't have a list. They didn't even go look at another head coach. They just said, Mitch Johnson, you are the guy. That's how much they believe in his character. And DeJounte Murray came to the press conference because he had been with him for a long time in San Antonio, but it went back way longer than that. That's how much he loved him. He helped him as a teen. Johnson helped him build an AAU team. He was his mentor, really. Like DeJounte Murray got real. This is his quote. It's a testament to hard work, dedication, but most importantly, his character, the loving, caring man he is. I'm thankful for him. I'm grateful for him, and I'm proud for him. This is rare. This is bigger than just him, and he understands that. I'm not surprised because he's smart, he's patient. Accountability is a big word that he stands on. That sounds a lot like a student of Gregg Popovich.
Yeah.
Obviously, somebody who helps people accountable and just being entirely about the team and things bigger than that. So Kelly Iko had a great write-up on that on The Athletic. But the whole thing just makes sense now when you on the outside looking in. Pop El Jefe now, as his new T-shirt says, passing it along.
That was pretty funny. Near the end of his remarks, unzipping the jacket to show the shirt, and then he turned around when he had Duncan and Ginobili with him. To me, this was like, I'm guessing Pop didn't really want to do this, but like, I'll do this for Mitch Johnson and for the Spurs organization. Pop is always like, yeah, none of this fanfare and stuff like this. But like, again, this like, he has my blessing. I'm okay. I'm here. I'm still going to be a part of the team, and sort of in a presidential role. But like, Mitch did an incredible job given the circumstances that he undertook, and sort of has my blessing. And now we move forward. So it was really cool, and it was just awesome to see him more than anything. Moving on, other coaching news, Kenny Atkinson. He was named the NBA Coach of the Year after leading the Cavs to 64 wins and the number 1 seed in the East. Yeah, maybe bad timing right now for poor Kenny here, down 2-0, but he received 59 of the possible 100 first-place votes from the media panel. He beat out Pistons coach J.B. Bickerstaff, the man he replaced, for the honor.
That's crazy.
A little odd. And then Rockets coach Ime Udoka finishing third. So Kenny, not a surprise here, I don't think, Tass. I think a lot of people thought. I mean, I felt like when he won the first 15 games of the season, it was sort of wrapped up then. Great seasons from Bickerstaff and Udoka and stuff like that, but 64 wins is impressive.
Absolutely. Obviously. It's his. He deserves it. I liked his remarks about being fired from Brooklyn. He said that was something that just helped me grow tremendously, going and being a coach with the Golden State Warriors and learning what Steve Kerr did as soon as he took over from Mark Jackson. Change it up as he did with Cleveland, being under Ty Lue and all that. But yeah, it is terrible timing. I mean,
I know.
After that and the ending of that game and even the interview after the end of the third quarter, I thought he was maybe just a little too confident that they were going to win that thing. I'm reading into it now. Obviously, in hindsight, he was fine, but it was unfortunate how it all ended there in game 2. But yeah, he won. He deserves it.
Any notes on Coach Kenny?
Yeah, I guess they wouldn't have had any good representatives to give this to because Detroit has been bounced, Houston has been bounced, Oklahoma City lost because Mark Daigneault kept fouling up 3, and Ty Lue has already been bounced by the Clippers. So I guess at least this guy's still around. But Kenny Atkinson was the clear choice. The same Cavs team came back, and they went from being good in the Eastern Conference to being the best team in the Eastern Conference, and it was 100% Kenny Atkinson influence, getting the buy-in from Mitchell to take a back seat for the good of the team, the development of Evan Mobley, a bounce-back season for Darius Garland. The top 5 was my all-coach team, so I think they did perfect.
There you go.
Number 6 is the question.
Who was it?
JJ Redick. 5 votes.
No first place votes, though.
No, not even close.
OKC's Sam Presti was announced on Tuesday as the NBA's Executive of the Year, the reward for building a team that won a league best 68 games this season. Presti is the Thunder's Executive Vice President and also their GM. He got 10 first place votes from a panel of 30 basketball executives. So what they do is they rank their top 3 choices in order. This isn't a media award. This is the other executives voting on who they think amongst their peers should get it. Presti appeared on 22 of the 30 total ballots. So Sam Presti wins this TK from the other executives.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess this means the Thunder won the Caruso-Giddey trade.
Yeah, I guess so.
Guess what that means.
Yeah.
But it's true. This is voted on by other GMs, right? Because this were voted on by the media. It would have been Nico Harrison for giving us all of those clicks and views. He's my exec of the year. Thanks for the great February.
Well, yeah, Rob Pelinka, who helped engineer the biggest trade of the season, bringing Luka to the Lakers, he was listed on only 5 of the 30 ballots. So I read that as the other executives were like, yeah, he got lucky as hell, man. Nico Harrison only called Rob Pelinka, and they did the deal. If they would have called me, we would have given you something different. We would have had Luka, but yeah, Sam Presti gets it.
Is this his first time?
It is.
Winning it?
Yeah,
first time.
A little shockingly, I thought.
Yeah.
Maybe he would have had one, but no.
Yeah, it's surprising that the other executives, they wait a couple of years. It feels like they built, obviously, an incredible team, but I guess the Caruso was the cherry on top. And now we can give it to him because he's obviously been deserving of it for a couple of years.
Final piece of news here. This is a little weird. NBC Sports announced this week that it will use an AI-generated voice of former narrator Jim Fagan for elements of its NBA coverage and promotion. So the voice of Fagan, who passed away in 2017, was pretty synonymous with NBC Sports' critically acclaimed coverage of the NBA in the 90s. And here's the latest, I guess, quick little promo to get you ready for next season.
The NBA on NBC is back. See you this October for the NBA season tip-off.
All right. We'll see you later this fall. But that is the AI-generated voice of Jim Fagan. Now, they got the okay from his family and all of that. But, you know, some people are very upset by this, even though it's playing on nostalgia. Because you hear that voice, it's like, oh, yeah, here we go. Who's Jordan and the Bulls playing? That's what I immediately think.
It is, but also when NBC was announced as the new partner for the NBA, people were super excited. People were like, oh, this is going to be great. Round ball rock. Storytelling. Bob Costas. Literally no one said Jim Fagan's voice narrating it.
Yeah.
There are people working today who would love this check. Look, I'm sure Jim Fagan's family loves the check as well.
Yeah.
But this is unnecessary and weird.
Agree? Disagree?
Well,
I've
never been more excited for an AI voiceover. This comes back. Yeah, all the nostalgia comes back. Now, he may not be it for the entirety of NBC's tenure here. Like, maybe somebody else takes over.
It may not last long after the backlash here.
Yeah. But the backlash is, hey, give it to somebody else.
Yeah. The backlash is this
dead.
is a little weird. He's passed, and somebody else could do this.
Yeah, I don't.
And if I'm being honest, when I listen to that clip, of course does it sound like him? Yes, but it does. It's not. You won't believe this. It's not identical because it's not his damn voice. It's AI generated.
Yeah.
If you go listen to like the old clips that you can find on YouTube from actual Jim Fagan doing those voiceovers, it is a little different.
Yeah, I think they will use somebody else when they determine. Not so much right now. And everybody hating them. I think it's just, well, this voice doesn't sound like what we need. You know, if it can't generate that. Well, and also just to move on. This is the nostalgia clip. This is now. We're talking about it. And that's it.
Yeah, that's the thing. They are leaning so heavily into the nostalgia factor, but maybe this is where they're crossing the line a little bit. Like, did you really need this? Probably not. We got John Tesh's Round Ball Rock. All right.
Cool.
Awesome. I also have read that NBC Sports president Rick Cordella, he is keen on bringing back like player introductions as part of the broadcasts to help present that big game atmosphere. It's something we see less and less of, right? But that was something like that was like a staple back in the day. Okay, that's cool. That, you know, I mean, that's a fun idea. Try it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
maybe not this. Yeah.
Yeah, bring back intros. They're good now. They're good when I watch the NBA in-arena feed, and I see them.
Right.
Depending on the arena, some are good. The Grizzlies, kill it. They're so good. The opposing team is good. And maybe that's not good for them, but they pull out such incredible music. So, yeah.
It adds to the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like watching them through your television screen. So that's a good idea, Rick. This AI-generated voice? Maybe not. Maybe not. But let's hear from you guys. What do you think? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Does the nostalgia hit for you?
What would you rather have, though? Just
It's another voice.
You wouldn't have noticed anything if it was any other person. Nobody would have said anything.
Right.
They would have been like, "Oh, cool promo."
Yeah, exactly.
Especially because you have the music. We got the music.
That's
We got Round Ball
it's
Rock.
the music that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now you get the 90s voice that people know. Not everybody knows, but why wouldn't you have a voice that you know?
All right, bring back Marv Albert.
Where do you stop, Tass? Where do you stop?
I say get rid of Round Ball Rock. Get rid of it.
Okay.
He re-recorded it. They didn't just use a new one or an old one.
He did, yeah.
Well, I mean, come on. Have some confidence in your product. Yes, the dads are excited. Great. I'm 54 years old. Yeah, I'm like, okay, cool. What about the kids? Like, let's get some new shit in here.
They don't watch TV.
Oh,
Watch
okay.
the highlights
All right.
afterwards.
Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe we should try to get them to. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's move on. Let's have something new. Like, yeah, have a Round Ball Rock, like an allusion to it in the actual new theme, right? Like, you can be creative with it. But yeah, it's just they're leaning way too hard into the nostalgia, and I find it very annoying and kind of scary, actually. Like, you guys have had 20 years to think about this, and this is your move. This is your move.
Just bring back
have a dead guy. Let's get a dead guy on there. No, I mean, like, all due respect, like, as you say, like, there's so many people who could do the job. Like, so let's have maybe somebody living. That's all.
Okay. I agree. All right, well, we got two games on tonight. Knicks Celtics, 7 p.m. on TNT. New York up 1-0, and then we got Nuggets Thunder 9:30. That's the second game on the doubleheader. Denver up 1-0. My question, do we have a home team win tonight? I started the podcast that way. I'm going to end it. Do you think one, if not two, of these teams actually win a home game tonight?
I think both home teams win.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
okay.
And Boston's going to shoot at least 75 to 95 threes. I think, they'll be far better.
Okay.
I think it's the Celtics will have way more energy, not just sit on their hands on both ends.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you like a home team at least coming through tonight, if not both.
Yeah.
Trey, you're nodding your head.
I like the Celtics to win for sure.
Okay.
And I'm curious to see what the Thunder try and do with Jokic.
Okay.
Because I don't know if Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein gained enough weight in the past 2 days to really compete. But
Eating
we
ice
shall
cream,
see.
baby.
Yeah.
We shall see, and we'll be back here tomorrow morning to break down those games. I just want to know can we keep the streak going of like being basically in like an instant classic game every night for like 3 nights running now.
Yes.
Can we make it 4 at least from one of these? We'll see. Appreciate you joining us live on YouTube, or podcast listeners listening a little later. Hit the like button if you're on YouTube. Leave your boys a 5-star rating and review, and we will see you tomorrow. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, occasionally we do a playback game, and I'm just talking it into existence. Now, I'll be doing some of the first game, probably the second half of the first game.
Tonight. All right.
Boston, New York Knicks.
I will add that playback link to the show notes. We'll see you there tonight. Brace the day, people.